Okay, week two of the Six Nations after a clean sweep on the tipping front. John, we're back for another entertaining weekend. Let's start with Cardiff, 2:15 on Saturday. Wales hoping to bounce back, and Scotland, after beating England in the Calcutta Cup, are hoping for a second successive win.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever done that before in the Six Nations. Kicked off with 2 wins, and I fancy them to do that again in Cardiff, which admittedly has been a ground where they've struggled in the past against Wales. They haven't won there since 2002, but history doesn't mean anything really to this Scotland side away from home. They obviously went down to Paris and won for the first time in 22 years in 2021, and then won in Twickenham against England for the first time in 28 years. So, yeah, they'll put all that to one side, the fact that they've had a miserable 20-year wait for a win in Wales, and I fancy them to go down there and get the job done. Sometimes in the past, Scotland haven't backed themselves, but I think they've got plenty of confidence, this Scotland team, and they've got plenty of dimensions about them in terms of the way that they could score points. And Wales, whilst Wayne Pivac's team has a little bit more of a balanced look to it and a little bit more physicality, they were certainly beating either side of the ball up in Dublin. I do like the fact that they've got a proper centre back in the centre in Owen Watkin, but still, they're a team where you can't really tell where they're going, whereas Scotland are playing the same mould of the way that Gregor Townsend, their coach, played. They've got an identity, they're on a roll, and we fancy that they'll scrub another of their bogey grounds off that list.
Great. Handicap is 2 points. Can they cover that handicap, and who can you see getting a try?
Yeah, I could definitely see them covering the handicap, a win of maybe between 6 to 10 points. Looking at some of the changes Wales have made, Alex Cuthbert coming in for the first time in 5 years in the Six Nations. He may be caught out a little bit, and if anyone's going to take advantage of that, Duan van der Merwe is always a very reliable first try scorer, or even an anytime try scorer. So I know it's not the most original of choices, but the big powerhouse wing was perhaps overshadowed by Darcy Graham, and he'll be looking for a big game in Cardiff on the weekend.
Yeah, a winner is a winner. Right, many are thinking that the game in Paris at 4:45 on Saturday is the biggest game of the weekend, could be the biggest game of the Six Nations. But we heard on Thursday morning, breaking news, Johnny Sexton misses the match. Huge blow to Ireland.
That could change everything in my book. I know one player doesn't make a team, but Johnny Sexton has been so pivotal to this Irish team. The way that they were attacking against Wales with those pullback passes and the slickness of their attacking play was a real feature. And Sexton obviously is the orchestrator of that. Sexton, I think, has won 7 out of the last 8 games against France when you take away that 2020 COVID game of the Six Nations. So he's got a good track record. That last minute drop goal in the rain in Paris will live down in many people's Irish memories. And he's also scored a couple of tries in one game against France. So he would have been really up for that game, but the hamstring injury has ruled him out. Joey Carberry comes in, incredibly for a player with 28 Test caps. This is his first Six Nations start at fly half. He's an 89% goal kicker for Ireland in 2021, so he's up to the job in terms of putting points on the board, and he may get a few opportunities because France gave away 14 penalties, the joint most in round one. Whether Ireland, though, without Sexton pulling the strings, will have that slickness, whether the machine will roll into win number 10 in a row is questionable. I think Sexton being out has just tipped the balance in Lebler's favour. And I think Ireland might come away with a losing bonus point. I'm not just saying that because I tipped them to win the title, but I think they might come away with that precious losing bonus point, but they may well struggle to keep the margin below 6. So 6 to 10 points again would be my favoured margin, this time in favour of the home team.
And the handicap as of on Thursday is 5 points. So France might just cover that. And what about a try score, Pino or someone like that?
Yeah, the wingers really did well, didn't they, in the opening weekend? Valliere scoring a hat-trick on one wing. Pinot scored one and set up a couple of others. So those are 2 obvious candidates you look towards. Backing up all the flair, though, is number 8, Gregory Aldrit. And I reckon he might put in a man of the match performance. He did so against Ireland in 2020, his second man of the match award of that championship. And he was tireless again against Italy, carrying the ball 21 times, making nearly 100 metres and putting in a highest tackle count of 13. Those sort of figures will be very important in a game where the match is going to be won doing the hard yards, doing the hard work. And there's no harder worker than Aldrit. So if you're looking for a player of the match bet, the number 8, he could be a good shout.
Okay, I'll move on to Sunday. One game on Sunday like it was last week. Italy host England in Rome. England, no doubt, are hoping to bounce back and in style.
Yeah, I think they will as well, because let's be fair, England were the dominant team in the Calcutta Cup game, apart from a few crucial moments, and they could have easily come away with what would have been a very good win. Again, a lot could come down to Eddie Jones's selection. I think he got a few things wrong. That centre combination of Daly and Slade looked a little bit lightweight. So it'll be interesting to see who he picks. But I think the bookies have perhaps overplayed the Italian performance in Paris. They did well, but it was against a French team that was undercooked due to COVID in the build-up. And they were also playing for a new head coach. They're always going to be up for the round 1 game. But England don't tend to struggle in Rome. They tend to score a shed load of points, score plenty of tries, and I can see them certainly overcoming the handicap, which last time I looked was in the low to mid-20s. Yeah,
24 points. So England to get loads of tries. Give us one player who will definitely get a try.
Well, I won't say definitely, but there's going to be plenty of tries shared around. And I think Marcus Smith, he scored a lovely try, didn't he, at the weekend against Scotland. And he's very good at spotting gaps in the opposition defence in the 22 and going for the line. So Marcus Smith would be a good shout.